This is Dawn of stamptilldawn.blogspot.com, and today I'm starting a series of videos where I'm going to feature the new Art Philosophy Cricut Bundle from Close to My Heart. So I've got a few of the products that come in the bundle here. This represents the cartridge, the Art Philosophy cartridge. You get 3 stamp sets, and today we're going to use this one. You also get 3 packages of dimensional elements, and I've pulled this element out of one of the packages, and we're going to make this cute little gift bag. So first what I need to do is find what I'm making in the book, and I've decided to make this gift bag. And so what I'm going to need to do, I pulled a little pad here to kind of show you. When you look at the book, you find the item you want to do, and in this case it's the gift bag, and I can see that it's the font layer, and you'll notice that some are dark and then some are gray. So the dark one is the original key that you get when you do the font layer, and the shift key gives you this grayed out one. And then over here it tells you that it's the 3rd key on the top row. So on my keypad I'm going to want to push the font layer button. I'm also going to push the shift button, and then I'm going to push the 3rd key on the top row, and that will give me my bag. And then I'll set my dial size to the size that I want. For the element portion of it, I want to do this scallop circle. I'm going to move, here's the element. I want to do the scallop circle to match this. And the cool thing is on the stamps, it tells you right on the carrier sheet, and I'm not sure if the camera can get this. Let me try moving it closer. 2 inches is what I need to cut it at to make it match the stamp and the element. So I know right away I want to do that at 2 inches. I'm also going to do a mat for it, so I'm going to do one at 2 1/4 inches. So let me show you how I have my mat set up for that. Actually, first let me show you the paper. I'm using the Roxy paper, so I'm going to use this side of it. And you'll see there's this little strip along the top here. When you cut that off, you flip it over, you have a cute little border that we're going to go ahead and use on our gift bag too. So I start out with this paper. I trimmed off the little strip, and then I trimmed it down. Now I know that I'm going to make my gift bag at 5 1/2 inches. So it's 5 1/2 inches this way. So I made my paper 6 inches to give me a little extra room. I'm going to cut my scallop that goes on top of the element and that I'm going to stamp on. I'm going to cut that one at 2 inches. So I cut a square that's like 2 1/2 inches. I like to give myself a little extra room. Then for the mat that's going to go behind it, I cut that a 1/4 inch bigger, so it's 2 3/4 inches, and I'm going to cut it at 2 1/4 inches. So I'm going to take this over to my Cricut and cut these out for you. Okay, I brought our paper over to the Cricut, and we're going to go ahead and try cutting it. Now my Cricut is super loud, so we're going to see how this works out for us. So I'm going to go ahead and load my mat. I want to do my bag first, and I know I want it to be 5 1/2 inches. And it's the font layer. I'm going to shift, and it's the 3rd key. And then I'm going to press cut. Okay, I'm going to line return. That brings my cutter back up to the top of my mat. And then I'm going to move the blade over to my colonial white square. And now I'm going to do the circle. So again, I don't want any other items on here. So I'm going to do just the circle, which is the 3rd key down right here with the butterfly. And I'm going to move it to 2 inches. And so I have circle 3, 2 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cut. And I'll just scooch my blade down to the desert sand piece. I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to move it to 2 1/4 inches. So I can tell it to repeat last, and then cut. Okay, so we've got everything cut out. I'll take you back over to the project. Okay, so now I have the images that we cut out. There's my bag cut out 5 1/2 inches, my 2 inch circle, and my 2 1/4 inch circle. And the way the Cricut measures things is it measures it at its widest part. So from this side to here is 5.5 inches. So it's kind of a fun thing to note when you're working on items. Okay, so now to decorate our little bag here, normally when I stamp, I like to have a piece of scratch paper underneath me, but we know that this image is going to fit completely on here, and it's nice to have a dark background behind it so that you can see exactly where you're stamping. Another trick for using this is this stamp would fit on a 2-inch block, but it's hard to kind of look above it and see it when you've got the edges of the block in your way. So I recommend going a little bit bigger on your block so that you have room all the way around the image, so that when you're trying to line it up on your element or anything that you've cut out from the Cricut, that you can actually see it. So I'm going to use the smoothie ink for this. Ink it up. And then you also kind of want to look above your item. So if you might like stand up or be above it a little bit to kind of look down on your image and get it all lined up. You stamp it right on there. And see, it actually lined up pretty good. I wanted to say perfect, but nothing's ever perfect. So I'm going to take a sponge and just sponge the edges of my desert sand piece here, just to give it a little oomph. It's a very subtle look. I'm not even sure that you're going to be able to see it on the video, but in person it just kind of adds a little bit extra to it. So now I have my element here. I'm going to put a little Tombow on my Cricut piece, my cutout, and add it to the element. And see, it lines up perfectly. No more of that tracing your element and then sanding it. This just sticks right on there. I love it. Now these do match up. I want to show you that they match up perfectly. So I could have a perfect mat like that. But I like it to kind of be a little off a little bit. I think it adds a little bit more to the flower. So just wanted to show you that it will match up exactly. And again, I did it a 1/4 inch bigger than the original. Oops, I was going to do it off a little bit. Now I have my bag. My other tip about the bags is wherever it joins. So like right here is your little edge that's going to join when you move it around. I don't ever want those in the front where I'm decorating. I don't want to draw somebody's eye to it. So I tend to always make any joins or any seams be in the back of my project. And I pre-scored this to make it easier on the video, but you would want to take your bone folder and like really push it, you know, it's already scored with little cut marks from the Cricut. Then you use your bone folder to make those creases really nice and crisp, and that makes it easier to assemble the bag when you get to that point. Okay, so we've decided this is going to be the back, this is going to be my front here, and I like to decorate the whole thing when it's flat because it just makes it so much easier to manipulate it. So I'm just going to put the little border on the front, and I cut these at 3 inches, which is a little bit bigger than the bag, so I'm folding that edge over. And now I've got a little piece hanging off the edge there, so I'll just flip that over and trim that off. Okay, so there's that. And you could certainly make the border go all the way around the bag. It's really cute, but I only had 12 inches of that, and I wanted to make a few bags, so I decided to just decorate the front. And I like to angle things a little bit so they're not perfectly straight on there. So there's our element. Now we're going to glue the bag together. In addition to making sure the seams in the back, I like to make sure this front flap is going to push away from me, so and be the cover up. I don't want it to be where the back is over the front. I don't know, that's just my weird thing. So when I look at it like this, I know that I don't want glue on the top of this. I want a small seam of glue here, and I want glue on the full flaps here. So I'm going to go ahead and open that back up now that I know where I want my glue to be. And I put a little Tombow on all of these areas. I just want just the top part of this one, and then I do want it on this flap here. Okay, so I'm going to fold this back up again, get my flap in there. I feel like I'm all thumbs when I'm doing this in front of other people, when it doesn't seem to be so cumbersome when I'm doing it by myself. So I'm going to put my little flaps in first, then the back, and last I'm going to put the front down. And then to kind of get it sealed down, you can take like a, this happens to be one of our spray things, so just kind of push it down. Spray pen, not spray thing. I just couldn't think of that. Just make sure you've got a nice good seal there, and then you have a cute little gift bag that you can put little items in. I was playing around with it. You can put a little tissue and put one of our little bling assortments in there and have a cute little gift. So I hope you've enjoyed these Cricut tips. I have a lot more to film and share with you. You can visit my blog for more projects and ideas. Have a great day.